Today we will talk about digestion, one of my favorites. We have a couple things that are familiar in the not in the digestive tract, but in this diagram that have nothing to do with the digestive tract, and that is our nasal cavity and our trachea. Remember, that is our windpipe, and our air tubes, our larynx, or our vocal cords. So, in order to digest food, so we have three parts of digestion. We have digesting it, which is chopping it up and making it smaller pieces, whether it's chemical or physical. We have absorption, which is when it goes from our intestine into our bloodstream, and then we utilize those nutrients. So three different kind of steps. And then we eliminate it. And we don't have to explain that. So we go in through our mouth. This is our mouth, our oral cavity, and our pharynx. Food travels down our esophagus. And remember, our esophagus is kind of like a flat tube that has the ability to change shapes and sizes depending on what goes down it. It also is lined with smooth muscle and a mucous membrane. And we know the mucous membrane rule from the fact that it has an opening. It's very muscular. Then we're going to go into the stomach. So here's our stomach right here. Your stomach has two sphincter muscles. The top of the stomach has the lower esophageal or the cardiac sphincter. The bottom of the stomach has the pyloric sphincter. So we have the body of the stomach, which is in the middle, the fundus of the stomach, which is this upper rounded portion, and the pylorus, which is this narrow portion at the bottom. Those three portions of the stomach encapsulate food and kind of swish it around like a washing machine to mechanically digest it while we use chemicals or our stomach acid and additional stomach contents to digest it or break it down into the smallest pieces possible to absorb it. We have to have these sphincter muscles because we have to close off a spot here and close off a spot here so everything can stay in one place for a prolonged period of time. Food usually stays in the stomach for 2 to 4 hours. After we leave the stomach through the pylorus, or the pyloric sphincter, and it's posterior to the liver, so you won't really see it when I am traveling my little mouse here, we're going to go into the small intestine. So at the small intestine, or the duodenum, we have three important parts of the small intestine: the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. So think DJI. So in the duodenum, we have our gallbladder that secretes bile. Bile emulsifies fat, or takes large pieces of fat and breaks it down into small fat. We also have the pancreas. The pancreas secretes enzymes that further break down food into the very smallest portions possible. So in the small intestine, we're wrapping around and wrapping around and wrapping around, and there's lots and lots and lots of surface area here where we digest food, and we'll speak about that later. At the end of the small intestine, right here, we have the cecum. The cecum is the first pouch of the large intestine. And after the cecum, we're going to travel up the ascending colon, transverse colon, then descending colon, and the sigmoid colon. So your colon kind of makes a big picture frame around your small intestine, and the colon can also be called the large intestine. Right here, see that little tiny little tail? That is your appendix. Your appendix is located in your right lower quadrant and is attached to the cecum. And we will discuss your rectum, anus, and other issues on the next video.